The altcoin market has finally changed entropy and started ripping to the upside. What we're looking at is some data sets to show which sectors, as of year to date, have been performing the best. And hands down, it's meme coins crushing it market wide. We all understand the downside to heavily investing in meme coins inside our portfolio. For one, it's a zero-sum game. This means every $1 that you make, you are directly taking away from another investor. This is Tulip Mania 101. We are actively and willingly participating in a game of greater fool. There is no use case. There is no other third party that's interested in purchasing these meme coins, which adds an elevated level of risk. As well as there are really zero fundamentals aside from your occasional new exchange listings that can help us trade and decide which meme coin to go for. Therefore, it's become sort of a lottery market where even the top meme coin creators like Galaxy, round of applause for Galaxy holding it down in the meme coin floor, he's always saying, well, you got to own a large basket. And this is a guy who understands you don't want to diversify. You want to hone in on your best picks, being a Caspa Maxi himself. We can beat this meme coin lottery, and we have proved undoubtedly that this meme coin lottery can be beaten. Well, how are you going to do that? With good old-fashioned gem hunting. Straight up. Back in the day, during the last cycle, every channel you turned on was a certified gem hunter, and they were all pulling out winners left and right. It's these same exact channels now who the exact same methods and tactics and strategies they were using during the prior cycle are no longer working. And the reason is very clear. It's a change in the economic landscape. Everything is different. They were printing money. It was the perfect storm for risk on assets during the prior cycle top. Now everything has changed. It's a totally different crypto zone. And these massive creators who have reputations for being able to pick winners. See, there's two different skill sets in crypto. There's understanding the tech and then understanding how to trade it. Crypto Banter, for example, has fallen flat on his face during FOMC meetings about a year ago. As the Fed was hiking rates, boom, they thought that was a bullish signal, running right into more downside. Looking at the total three, this entire halt in breakout, and you can compare this to a lot of your altcoin charts alongside your meme coin charts as well. This is every altcoin market cap, includes the meme coins. It's excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right here in April, it starts ripping to the downside, all because of the financial landscape. The FOMC and Powell, these guys were actually delaying rate cuts. Puts people in fear moods, hands down. We'll get into some price action in a second. Yeah, so gem hunting is a lost art. There is nobody that's doing it correctly right now because there is nobody that's correlating the financial world into cryptocurrency. And it's because the last cycle, it was just a perfect storm. Go into our watch list, and there's 3 separate videos that you can find in the playlist. They're all about Satoshi's secrets. any one of those three, whether there's Roaring Kitty on the cover, because interestingly enough, this is a GameStop purchase. Notice that GameStop was peaking. This is like 2 weeks before that massive spike on GameStop happened, adding to my position. That happened exactly when Bitcoin was ripping to the upside as well, because it's all interconnected to the larger top. But that's not what we're talking about today. We've already covered that in detail in those videos, and you need to watch those in order to really understand the depth of what we're about to bite into. And this is huge, you guys. First off, who am I to give advice? There's so many creators out there running around saying, oh, dude, I've got the ultimate gem of the week. And then meanwhile, no. And a lot of these creators, you'll notice, have just swapped directly over, and they're starting to hammer out meme coins now. Why? Meme coins are crypto on easy mode, as well as crypto on lazy mode, because there's a lot less work that you need to do in order to fully vet a crypto project versus a meme coin project. Quick and easy is how you bake a cake. Quick and easy is not how you make $1 million. So if you've only got $10,000, $25,000 and you want to build a portfolio starting today, instead of going with a roulette wheel of meme coins, which for one is going to be extremely hard to sell as well, they create tons of blow off tops. When you get a project with real world use case, you're going to have a much easier time taking profit, and you're going to see better gains. Putting our money where our mouth is, what we're looking at is these are all of the top cryptocurrencies. The only filter set we have here is it's $10 million market cap and up. So we're excluding the micro caps, like the real nosebleed anthill projects, and we're bumping the volume up to 500K. This is for safety. The average investor is going to throw down $5,000. You want at least 1%. No more than that in the daily volume. That's just a standard rule of thumb to protect yourself. Otherwise, you're stuck holding a bag that you can't even sell. It's beyond a worst case scenario. So these are the absolute top performers. And in a moment, we're going to break down, like this one, Sigma. We could have found this, you guys, as a meme coin. Honing through why Sigma is one of the #1 top keywords that's searched on Google. You guys have probably heard the whole Wes Watson alpha male world going on, right? That's pretty fun. But a lot of these younger generation guys, the exact people who are interested in meme coins, they go with the Sigma male, as alpha males often overrated and involves a lot of social bureaucracy. The guy who's actually leading the pack is usually not the most powerful in today's world. Anyway, these are the top projects that we can see. Moonwell, boom. We were looking at this 60 days before we even started accumulating the buying. How would you like to be gem hunting to the point where you're starting to eyeball Moonwell for a purchase just as it crosses 20 cents? And again, we had already had eyes on this, targeting it on the radar. We're going to fire a shot at this 60 days before that. Scrolling down, there's Hoppy. That's one of the roulette wheels. Didn't even do as good as Moonwell, and this is over 3 months. Scrolling down, there's Sui. That's a good project. 01 DEAI. This is a 24-point checklist gem. So when we're doing these deep dive researches on Moonwell, we didn't create one of these because it's DeFi. It's pretty easy to understand. This was also a best swing trade. So putting all these puzzle pieces together on DEAI, and we're going to go into some of the fine points on why we picked DEAI, why it is such a good pick, and how to use it when we're combing over other projects, because there's still a lot to up and come. Side note, if anyone watching this video right now is not a resident of the United States, we have a 24-point gem in the GameFi sector that is going to absolutely rocket. We're inside $1 million condo on the Las Vegas Strip. We can't open the window because of backlog trading. But I was talking with some guys who speak on CNBC, and they were telling me to get this. The pre-sale is starting within 60 days. So you can get in, read the report on this GameFi project, and potentially, depending on where you live in the world, invest in this before it's even on the exchanges. For Americans, we'll have to wait for the day one listing, but we're already getting ready. And this is going to be the GameFi project. This is like buying Heroes of Mavia before it even got listed on the exchanges. So we've got 0A1. We're not going to point out every project that we have in the top 100. We're just going to point out some. We have 6 projects on this list we're looking at right now. 6 of 100 of our projects are in the top 100 highest gainers that we are trading. And we're talking about 20 projects that we post about, have eyes on, do charts for. Bit sensor, everybody got the bit sensor at 250 trade. That was pretty easy. Spectral. So during the Bank of Japan crash, this was one of our targeted trades, understanding the value in Spectral long term, taking advantage of this discount with a 520. And then our DEAI last post about it was when it was having a new listing. This was the MEXC listing, and then they did the Gate IO. Obviously, the team savvy, paralleling themselves with FOMC rate cuts. As that FOMC meeting happened, all the fears from no rate cuts shifted, and now we're seeing upside breakout. So we are crushing the meme coiners. And here's the thing. These meme coin guys will actually say, well, our strategy is to shoot a ton of shots, and we're just going to hit one that does like a 10,000x, like a Sigma male rocket, like that meme coin. We're doing concentrated shots here. 2 of these, Spectral also, 24-point gem. We have a full detailed report on Spectral, and actually, you should read the 2 of them side by side because they're actually competitors. They're dealing with online agents. To have a better understanding of this from layman's terms, watch The Matrix 3. Agent Smith, Morpheus, Bunny Rabbit. These guys are all agents inside the program acting autonomously. We used an agent that I've built and I've been working with and perfecting over the past 500 days, hence the name Jesse AI, that helped us do the Caspa short. While everybody was going long on Caspa, here, as early as September 9th, we were always planning on shorting at the exact location. And part of that insight is from using online agents. They are the bomb. They are the smartest guy in the room, especially when we're dealing with something that requires a college education that's a bit over our heads. If you're a doctor, a lawyer, a real estate agent, a plumber, we don't understand coding. This technology, we can grasp enough of it to trade, but we really need AI to help us all the time. 100 questions a day and spin off of our viewpoint. Bingo bango, asking about the bear market. This is all falling into the Satoshi Secret videos. This is an entirely different concept, all based around the FOMC meetings and these. Let me show you really quick what it is, because it incorporates some into what's happening and why we're choosing what. We'll just give a real quick summary. Looking at the prior market top, the run-up phase paralleled with the FOMC offloading their bonds. As you see those old guys on TV, let me show you what this guy looks like so you understand. Now you can finally be watching those boring TV shows and actually understand what they're doing. Macroeconomic trends. It's this guy right here. He's about to get on TV and start talking about money. They call it cryptocurrency for a reason. When Satoshi built Bitcoin, he made the halving happen every time the FOMC cuts rates. I'll show you that in a second. Remember these dates. February 20th. and June 17th. Looking at the Bitcoin chart, February 21st, those were the 1-year treasuries. February 20th. So they're pushing all this money out of the bond market, which is where the government's holding it. They're trying to fight inflation. Now they're trying to make sure there's jobs, stimulate the economy. Wall Street's rushing to the upside. Everything's ripping right then. Not just crypto. It's also Tesla. It's everything going to the upside. And Satoshi, in his genius, knew all about this stuff. See the peak on Tesla? It's actually literally 10 days away from Bitcoin's top, and it's all coming down to the FOMC pushing this bond money out. Looking at my GameStop buy-in, that's 30 days apart from that Bitcoin top. You see how it's all connected right before everything unlocked and rushes in. So when you're looking to sell is here when they start raising rates. So they start raising right here, November, December, and they're just raising it a smidge, but these guys are playing teams just like in poker, and they're signaling and everything like that. Look at that, November, right when they start raising rates, and then boom, June 17th, the market's bottomed. So you will start right there when they reaches a new local high. See that? Oh, they just started, and now they're getting it back up to where it was above here. Now it's totally tanked. And there's a bunch of different charts, and we go into massive depth on this inside VIP. We actually pull up the paperwork to do the bond auctions. So we're looking over it all, every which way from Sunday in VIP. And that's part of the reason why we're crushing it so hard. Because here's the thing. This is that February 20th date on altcoins, and this is where our big money is. Forget about Bitcoin. We want the altcoins. We want to see some monster rippers. They need an injection of cash before they get to the distribution phase right here. And then the sell-off commences, right? So there's the distribution phase. Previously, based on the FOMC data, there was no bull market. There was no bull market. They had to actually see this while the rates are down low. That's the stimulation of the economy. So that's the bull market. And what they just did was they said, okay, there's going to be a distribution phase now because they're taking the federal funds rate and they're dropping it down. If you've never heard about this or traded with this, you need to join VIP right now. Because we've got better on-chain stuff and we just have a better understanding. That's how out of the 20 picks we eyeball, and considering the 24-point checklist gems that we've got so much of, that all ended up being the best swing trade over the past 90 days, 30 days, it all correlates to this. Because as the FOMC is changing it, there's a massive shift into DeFi. So let's start talking about gem hunting 101 from here on out. When we're looking for gems, the first thing that we've got to keep in mind is this. What is coming on the horizon for the bull market? As we know, these layer ones like the AVAX, the Solana, the Caspa, even more computer specific like a Cash, Render. People, there'll be upside on Render that's not from anybody buying the coin. It's from people playing video games and Renders allowing for the data image processing. You guys understand how Render works. So when the bull market kicks off, the stuff we want to buy, the way that we get into the top 100 and defeat the lazy, slacker meme coin, lottery, zero-sum game, degenerate gamblers, crushing them, is we have to find the projects that actually have real-world use. And the best way to do that is we have to start looking for what's going to come out in the bull run. So if people haven't had a bull run before, get your pens and paper out because I'm going to show you projects that are going to come out because it's going to completely change. Here's the thing. People aren't going to start buying Render when it rockets to the upside. They're not going to start buying AVAX when it's already moonshotting. But they're going to be using all of the dApps, the games, the NFTs, the real world assets that are built on chain. And that's what we need to analyze and factor in while everything's up and coming. Let's start off by doing a history lesson flashback. Has anybody ever seen this project before? It's called Quack. And it was around during the last cycle. This is a classic case of Ponzi-nomics. Crypto has a massive bad reputation for being related with Ponzi schemes. This is what they are in a nutshell. In a very complicated effort of tokenomics, burning and layering and early investors, they create this Ponzi-nomic function. Each project has their own unique way to disguise it, and then you'll even get into the ones that are just more blatant about it. Here's another example, Strong Block, and these are often termed as nodes as a service. These were absolutely rampant across the entire crypto sphere. Everything on Phantom, everything on AVAX, these were all Ponzi schemes because it's the late investors. The dudes who aren't getting in early like we are, they're going to come when Bitcoin hits $200,000, Caspa's up to $3 or $4, and they're going to be like, dude, I need some of this action, help me out. And they're not just going to buy the top. Nobody's that naive. That's not what makes the top. What makes the top is this crackpot stuff. Now, the White House has stepped up and they started regulating this already. So oftentimes these central banks and the investment bankers, they work in hand. This is who's moving all this cash around, central banks and investment banks. But this is all Satoshi's secret stuff. So definitely check out those playlists. Any 3 of those videos will get you up to speed after this one. And you want to know this. It will change your life as an investor. Absolutely. So what they started to initiate was they unleashed Gary Gensler and the SEC, and what he was supposed to do was stop these kind of projects, these Ponzi's. But what he did instead was he went right after the chains they're getting built on. He went after the legit cryptos, the XRPs, the BNB, and this has actually been part of the downside as well. Looking at the total 3 chart, this golden arrow here is when the SEC decided to go after Binance. Side note, whenever you're gem hunting, Binance is dead in the water, you guys. You can scroll through all of these projects in the top. They're not going to be built on BNB. Most of them have nothing to do with BNB at all. What is taking its place? Base. This also includes anything that Binance backed as a VC. This is a great tool right here to help you crypto rank because it'll show you the VCs and everything right at the press of a button. So when you click on Solana, boom, now I can see, oh, cool, Polychain Capital. The guys who did Caspa, they actually did Solana too. And what you want to avoid is Binance as a lead VC, and you want to see Coinbase instead, because that's undoubtedly a trend. Now, later on, with Gary Gensler getting fired and some shift in regulation, can this change? Absolutely. And that might be a huge delayed catalyst for these Binance-backed projects. But as of right now, there's a bunch of copycats of Moonwell that are just getting wrecked because they're too associated with Binance. Yeah, that was one of our old Moonwell posts, but having experience as a day trader, there's not a lot of people out there. When this was back at 10, this is a round number that would realize we were going to get stopped down there. When you're day trading, you look for earnings reports. Crypto needs a structure. That's why these FOMCs are so important. You look for the earnings reports. You look for ones that gapped up, ones that gapped down, and then finally you look for round numbers, because people are always going to make a mistake around round numbers, undervaluing it or overvaluing it. Look at the FOMCs on the Caspa chart. FOMC meeting here. Here, we did a 10x call out rockets. Here, see how much the FOMC matters? It's like an earnings report. It's cryptocurrency. So very important to pull in. Because of this regulation, we've got to start making speculations, and that's what we're doing, is we're speculating as investors. What sectors are actually going to see the maximum upside? Now, because the rate cut season is on, it's a safe bet to go with DeFi. Projects like Moonwell, we know automatically there's going to be lending and borrowing. Their entire niche is just cryptocurrency itself. Therefore, these are good to go. These are your safest bets. These are going to get you the most measured and average upside. If you were to pick something that would beat meme coins on base, it would be Moonwell versus a dozen meme coins on base. Just getting Moonwell, not even factoring in the human error of the fact that you're going to have difficulty. Gains on stream and gains in the bank are two completely different things. We got to realize that. Even for people who have experience with technical analysis, it's hard to get all that cash in your bank account. DeFi is huge, but here's the thing. Artificial intelligence and real world assets. So we've got a source inside the KII who's been leaking us information. They're getting ready, as we covered in yesterday's video, to start doing smart contracts connected to the Ethereum virtual machine. As everybody who's a Caspa OG knows, the community voted that we would do native ones first. They're going to just supersede that decision and go ahead and hook it up right now, because they're talking about some huge disruptive BRICS nations level, like beefy stuff for Caspa. And it's all coming this bull market. So super huge there. But the point that I was making is Caspa ultimately is going to be a leading real world asset currency. But real world assets are also leading in upside. We're going to do a post for Moonwell later today about this pullback, because we had flagged the price of 82 inside of VIP. But we need to now reassess that and get into more details now that the pullback has actually taken place. Speaking of pullbacks, guys, everybody's getting super excited and they're jumping the gun on what? The presidential election results and this up and coming rate cut of 25 points. For everyone who's in VIP knows that over the past 45 to 60 days, we've actually been projecting what? Bearish rate cuts. The entire history of rate cuts is that they go to the downside. Now, we had a bullish rate cut, mind you, off of this one from September 18th. We're up on the total 3, and we're up on Bitcoin. Investment bankers have already factored in both the election results and the 25 BPS rate cut. It's already factored in. So it was like a buy the rumor, sell the news event. So there is undoubtedly, everyone's getting ready for another massive leg up. In fact, as we've been talking about in VIP like 45, 60 days ago, and this kind of underlines the fact it's best to go with your gut, this can lead to sideways, getting away from the wick-off, break-off method we always talk about, getting away from the downtrending price channel. This, in the big scheme of things, no big deal. But when you start adding 10x, 15x, 30x on some of these altcoin picks, that adds up if you can save 15, 25%. So everything's looking for at least off of the election results. It could take them a few days to verify the election. This has been happening since George W. Bush Jr. ran. They battled that in Florida and had to recount everything. So a delayed count, there's a lot of things that can go on, or just the results come in and it sells off anyway, and then into the FOMC. So we'll be covering that stuff inside of VIP. Exactly. The Caspa team is completely honed in. The fact that they're launching the 10 BPS upgrade is paralleling exactly with broader financials. This is when the rate cut cycle will be ending. This is when everything starts to really kick off and the Fed unloads tons of their bonds, getting more liquidity on the street. They'll be buying them back from the investment bankers. They'll go directly to BlackRock and say, yeah, we'll buy your bonds back. Here's your money. Now BlackRock, okay, now I got my money back. And what are they going to do with it? We already know. They're looking to real world asset tokenize the entire world. I think that the Caspa hash rate is still up extremely large right now. Actually, yeah, it's at like 1.2 EH. That's monstrously big. So to think that a lot of them have switched, no, there's more piling on. Look at that. So Caspa, even recently, just over last week, adding even more hash rate. And of course, the more hash rate, the stronger the project is long term. Trevor, but interesting observation. Yeah. Caspa's a beast. So Pendle, this is a DeFi type of play. This can do really well coming up, even though it has a large market cap. Very good stuff. The narratives, artificial intelligence, that was the point that we are at. Since this regulation has came down, now all of a sudden these complete degen DeFi, Ponzi schemes on chains like Quack or Strongblock. If you want to research one, go for Strongblock. This was the OG. It had hundreds of copycats. People actually made a ton of money off of this way back in the day. But it's nothing more than a Ponzi scheme, completely ridiculous. So people were in here staking it. And the thing is, you double your holdings every 100 days. So if you got in back here in February, every 100 days you double. So by here, you've tripled, quadrupled your strong block, and the price is rocketed from all the other Ponzi's jumping in. And there was like a bunch of copycats of these. That's not going on. You know what is going on because of regulation? It's artificial intelligence. This is going to be the leading narrative. And because technology is advancing, ChatGPT is the fastest growing cryptocurrency of all time. The projects that are beating meme coins are directly related with artificial intelligence like DEAI and Spectral. Both of those 24-point checklist readouts, super beasts. Because what is going to be coming out is AI. It's not going to be these degen DeFi projects anymore. It's going to be stuff to help everybody tweak their social media, like this project. It's like a Mid-Journey creates images and then prints them out on any kind of hoodie or cup, things along that line. When you start searching through the IDOs and ICOs, and this is the best way to gem hunt for projects that are listed right now, start scrolling through these, particularly in the AI sector, but you can just look at them all in general. There's tons of SoFi. Loads of SoFi projects. Notice how when we run a search for SoFi right now, There's not a ton of listings out there. What SoFi stands for is social media and finance put together. So they're going to be connecting cryptocurrency into Facebook, into Twitter specifically, and giving people whole new tools to amplify their experience on social media. That's what's going to be coming this bull market. It's not going to be these plug and play projects like this. This is another plug and play Ponzi-nomic scheme. It was called Match X. I got tons of these. This is another one. It came with an NFT and a plug-in nightlife. This bull market's going to be totally different, and it's going to be focused around artificial intelligence, hands down. GameFi is another sector that can get rocketing. Here's the catch. You don't actually have to buy the hit game. You just have to buy the projects that are going to work on chain. So when the bull market's kicking, you're rocking and rolling. And we have, for everybody outside the United States, the best game project you can imagine in pre-sale right now. 24-point report on it. Super huge value. It'll be like buying Heroes of Mavia before it got listed. Proppy. I've looked over this one while doing gem hunting on real world assets. It's got good volume. There's other ones inside this sector that are geared up to do slightly better than Proppy, although this isn't really bad. This is a perfectly good project. It's this we don't want to see, do we? That's not the ultimate chart. I'll show you one since you're bringing it up that you might find interesting. This one's a little bit better. Very similar, but here we don't have a bad chart. Here we have a better looking chart. Bit of a newer listing. Parcel. Coinbase. So every time you see Coinbase as the lead VC, 40% of those, 40% are going to make it onto Coinbase. This little bad boy is just in Goofyville. No good listings. And when we check out what this is, it's actually pretty cool looking because they're investing in, and I think there's ways that you can enhance your investment if you want to do Colorado, Las Vegas, the United States of America. They've got this all broken down. They've got rentals, buying and swapping, swing trading real estate. It's a pretty cool website. It's a pretty well put together project. It's got the top VCs. Nice. Yeah, Wolfie's a good source. Like I said in the last video, I've got a contact inside the KII that's leaking our group everything. One of the CASPA team members joined our VIP. Check out the repeating trend line system because some of the callouts that we've been making are ungodly accurate. I mean, it's uncanny, the CASPA callouts that we make. And so I think because of that, our channel got dropped at the KII. And somebody's been leaking us information. We're going to get a copy of the gigawatt white paper, which right now, this is all like underground stuff because it's going to be super disruptive to the entire energy industry. They're rewriting the gigawatt white paper. Gigawatt is a real world asset stablecoin that's backed by these energy facilities like electrical grids. They're taking on 6 new members to the KII right now. And these guys are all bosses in the Middle East of the energy sector. Like the super, super wealthy, next level rich guys, ultimate powerful guys. They're getting on board. And with them comes BRICS, that's what we want. So the big spinoff for Twitter is, you guys have heard of what WeChat is, right? In China, you cannot live, you cannot exist unless you have WeChat. You get a cab, get groceries, go on a date, anything. It's how you pay for everything. It's how you do everything. It's like Amazon and your bank and Uber Eats all put together. So Elon Musk is looking to build that in there. I think I probably have a watch list of SoFi in here somewhere. Yeah. IDO, SoFi. Let's see. Here's some good ones. So notice how these aren't even out yet. Because this is what's coming at the bull market. This is going to be the next phase of And finally, our GameFi IDO is about to get listed. It's months away from getting on the exchanges. It's all happening. Gears are moving right now, knowing that the bull run's right around the corner. And these will launch in the mid of the bull run. And this is what the latecomers, your friends who aren't into crypto yet, they're busy playing around with stocks or betting sports or whatever they're doing with their finances. And then they'll come over and check these out. This is a fashion platform hooking up to Twitter. There's all kinds of these social media, physical meets digital. All kinds of these SoFis. And here's the thing, none of them are really out yet. They'll be coming. And so when the bull market kicks off, there'll be an entirely new set of even content creators that are just focusing on the new listings. Particularly if these type of projects start going again, the Ponzi-nomics, this is something that Sepral will do and be very good at, right? Because he can't vet a crypto to save his life. And that's another thing with gem hunting. We're always talking about the pots of gold, which the 24-point checklist, combing through, you've got to find every detail. The teams, their entire design is to trick retail into thinking their project is going to have real world use case. That's all the teams want to do when they write the white paper. They build their website. They're just trying to fool us. The majority of cryptos don't do anything. They're just like a meme coin of technology. Flux, for example, perfect example. This is a meme coin of technology. And they go to vast extents to convince retail that they are some big use case, amazing thing. Let me give you a good example of how you can disprove Flux instantly. And this is what the 24-point checklist is all about. Step number 23. Actually use the product for its use case. So with Flux, it's a cloud storage, kind of like, your backup for Google. You can put your photos and your videos on there. In order to actually use Flux, you have to copy paste code, go to third parties, rent out these nodes in outer space, all kinds of goofy stuff, and then copy paste code on it. It's not actually getting used. It's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's a total jip. And they'll do anything to trick you. Another great example, and you can catch up on stuff when stuff sounds funny. Alphium, we always talk about how bad this one is. They say their emission schedule is 180 years. Dude, in 25 years, crypto itself is going to have to be completely rewritten because they'll have AI that can crack seed phrases. So the speed of technology, you think Alphium's going to be cutting edge with their double sharding program? They're already outdated. They're going to be nothing in 10 years. It's going to be old news. But their emission schedule lasts 200 years. I mean, come on. That's a dead giveaway. So yeah, Always keep that in mind. Is just look for, and the majority of these are just fake. They have no actual use case. As strange as that sounds. No. 100% Caspa is fine. Listen, this downside in Caspa is no big deal. Remember that while this, and here's a correlation that I'll give you to help put you at ease. From this FOMC meeting on May 1st to this one with the Bank of Japan carry trade collapse, I want you to keep in mind that this is May 1st here, right? So the altcoin market was selling off, and this is all directly connected to rate cuts. Everybody was afraid that there wasn't going to be a bull market, and that doesn't affect Caspa as much because it's a layer one. So part of our diversification strategy that we teach inside VIP, and I actually apply for my own bag, I have a 4-bagger. To give you an example of somebody who joined VIP 45, 60 days ago, actually, he says, hey, Jesse, I'm all in on Caspa. And I explained to him after he's watching his Satoshi Secret videos, as the Fed's cutting rates, and they're now saying for sure, because the rates are going to be down low for a long time, the bull market's on. We're going to get one of these distribution phases. Like here, this is going to be big for DeFi. Hence all of our Moonwell picks from way back in the day. And we were eyeballing this before, you know, everything got going. We were looking at this on like June 1st when it was at 3 cents before the dip. DeFi being actually just its use case is crypto itself as a lending on base. Remember the SEC suing Binance, so it's now Coinbase is a go, Binance is a no. This had all the right moving parts. It had a previous high price. Here we started looking at it, and then it had a pullback, and it started making a cup and handle. There were multiple other signals, and we had this guy who originally had 2 sharks worth of Caspa that he bought. He spent $100,000, and he bought him here at 5 cents. He's got $50,000 he wants to diversify, so we got him in on a truckload of well at 3 cents. Right here, he got it at like 29 or, 2 and 9 cents, whatever, 2 and 9 hay pennies. And now he's got a huge bag of well. Well goes up to 20 cents. This guy's got a 50-50 bag and he paid half as much. And it's all about diversifying with time. Originally, you want to build up your layer ones. Here's why. This could have went disastrously different for DeFi and AI. All the FOMC had to do was say, yeah, we're actually not going to cut rates, or we'll cut rates right now, not 50 points, 25, and we're not going to cut rates anymore. They're not going to plan a rate cut. They're not going to give these numbers right here. See how before it was at 4.1 and 3.1? That's not that much of a bull market. So now they're giving us more money for the bull market. And just so you completely understand how this works, you got to watch the Satoshi Secret playlist. This will get you up to speed to the next dimension. But this is how economics works 101. The government's holding the money to prevent inflation because they just print so much of it, it's almost worthless. That's their way of controlling it. But eventually, jobs in the economy needs to be stimulated, and they put that money back on the street. This is how we time growth in the market. It's all over TV. It's a massive hidden secret. Yes, this is actually a great project that you brought into peripheral vision. This is another great thing about joining our VIP is we've got a lot of advanced traders of guys who are like, yeah, you know what? I actually don't want to read all these white papers. Jesse, you put together the 24-point checklist for me because it saves a lot of time. Nobody wants to do that stuff. And we've got loads of tools to help you along the way. But we have a bunch of advanced traders, a bunch of guys using this systems, and everybody's got a team effort of combing through. So Pendle's got a great use case associated with crypto. So this is right in your DeFi sector. It's got a healthy looking chart to it. And it's got even deeper correlation to the total 3. So this is something that we can see in Moonwell, and something that you should look for in all your charts is, see this top April and this bottom, obviously the Bank of Japan, but now curving up. That looks exactly like what? That looks exactly like our total 3 chart. Over this rate cut cycle, and then afterwards, obviously, this is going to see massive upside. This isn't too risky, like you're going with an AI pick itself. And it's a lot easier to take profit on this than getting a dozen meme coins and trying to sell the 2 winners at the top and then just taking the average. This is great. And even though it has a high market cap, it doesn't matter. It can still see good upside. Pendle. It's all in the hands of the FOMC. And everybody who says, well, I can tell you the price of this during the bull market, if they really can give you an accurate number, they'll give you a price model, which is always shifting. And a major factor in it is going to be what the FOMC does. The faster and harder these guys cut rates, the better it is for us. Instead of them doing it slowly over 2025, we want them to step on the gas and cut rates ASAP.
Exciting now.
This will just make it way easier for us as traders to time the top, and there'll just be such a more inflow of money faster. And there's other ways to track and look at this. As we go inside VIP, we pull up like bond auctions, actually getting into the accounting of it. It's a deep rabbit hole. I mean, you can go to college for it. But anyway, honestly, this is playing back to the entire thing inside VIP. Remember how we were saying rate cuts are oftentimes bearish historically. Every single rate cut cycle in history for stocks and crypto has been bearish. Now, we had this first rate cut abnormally bullish. Let's look at what happened on the second rate cut on Bitcoin. It was an absolute dumpster fire. Part of this is because the investment bankers, they've already priced in the 25 BPS cut that's about to happen. So here we go. The first rate cut was right here. Let's make this more precision tool. The first rate cut was right here in this valley. We got a rally and then a sell-off. And then your second rate cut is like right here on the 21st. And then it's a dumpster fire, attempted recovery, and then another dump. And speculating, we can do research and figure this out. Probably it's because the investment banking class has already priced this in. They're already pricing this in. So that was on Bitcoin. Our concern is with the total 3. And in VIP, as you know, these are the 2 exact identical falling wedges. Of course, technical analysis by itself is very juvenile and it gives the entire art form a bad name. We always combined our TA with fundamentals every single time. Here's what I mean by that.
The shape charge indicates that they are technically proficient.
These are the exact 2 repeating trend lines. We just clone them and place them in this wedge. The interesting thing about both of these falling wedge patterns is they're both because the FOMC is they're both around FOMC rate cuts. This is the peak here, and then they start cutting rates down here, or excuse me, this is when they were raising rates. Here, they even raised rates on May 3rd. Causing even more downside. And this is where all of the creators who used to be these mastermind gem hunters, Crypto Banter, Altcoin Daily, these guys, you can go back and watch their videos. They thought at that FOMC meeting, while the Fed is raising rates, while they're now making it pay more for Jane Street and BlackRock to get their money into bonds. They said this is bullish. Ludicrous. We actually shorted right there. We shorted AVAX, layering into a monster position. Because there's nothing better than an FOMC raising the rates to make the complete market crash. And then looking at Kaspa, as you can see, while the market was bleeding out, Kaspa was ramping up, which was a clear as day signal. Kaspa's juicy. See this massive sell-off here? Oh, it was brutal. There's going to be some more sideways action. And we're going to go over both of these scenarios inside VIP, and we're looking for the ultimate pullbacks on Moonwell. Other projects are going to just keep running, but a lot of cryptos like, dude, we're in a serious bloodbath right now. Right now, like Render, AVAX is down in the dirt. Render, bleeding profusely, 462. So a lot of projects are hurting right now. And based on historic data and the fact that these investment banking class have already priced in the 25 BPS, there can be an indefinite pause as the candle will automatically be drawn towards the apex of this downside or sideways movement before this starts to break to the upside. There can be a delay. And this delay can go on until the new year. I would not be surprised to see crypto, this breakout, stall into the new year. But we'll go over some more scenarios. And that's the key, is at the end of the day, they're just trying to put this on a time frame that your everyday retail guy can't deal with. And then what do we try to do? We try to outsmart ourselves, and then we start making a bunch of mistakes. And all you had to do was buy and hold. Occasionally, we'll do some swing trading to catch multipliers, like we showed with that short position. Switching that short into a long on Kaspa, massively profitable. But it's something to keep in mind. It's something we'll contemplate. And we have to wait for the FOMC to present their data. They might come up with a more bearish or more bullish data set. They might decide they're going to cut rates less on these two numbers. So it's very important meeting. I hear how Raheem wants to jump in on to VIP, but they don't accept crypto. We have a ton of these good collections here, including with Kaspa. And this is one of the reasons I wanted to bring up meme coins today. All the Kaspa creators have been running like scared little children out of the Kaspa content section. And one of the reasons is they cannot compete. They cannot post good Kaspa content. Meanwhile, so their videos are right next to mine. What do you think is going on with our VIP group as we're calling? And these is like multiple posts we have doing this, calling Kaspa's gonna drop directly off the trend line that it dropped off of with pinpoint accuracy. And this is part of the technical analysis that we teach, the repeating trend line system. This stuff is so far out. Crypto, way different than the stock market. Because of the emission and having schedules, it creates repeating trend lines. See these bounces at 18 cents off this trend line? We knew this. We were predicting this wholeheartedly. I remember I was getting so many emails from everybody in the group saying, oh my God, dude, it's going to break out. We got to go long. I've got all this new information that I got from Archie Type or whoever. All these guys, just their VIP groups, everybody's like, yeah, I think I actually will join Jesse. Our group skyrocketing to the upsword, Discord exploding, tons of new talent bringing in. There's tons of new insight inside the Discord. As you can see, we originally had predicted on October 30th, we'd be at 12.5 cents. And part of the way we put this together is not just technical analysis, it's fundamentals, and we even use an AI agent. So totally wild stuff. These guys have moved into meme coins because they just can't create good content, and they can't gem hunt either. Their gems aren't going anywhere. They don't have one pick besides their meme coin out of their bag of 12 that's in the top 30 or the top 3 for the most part. They cannot gem hunt. They'll walk you into a rug pull. Sepral does it all the time. So they've abandoned ship. Gem hunting, nope. They're now picking the prettiest picture and tracking the exchange listings. I mean, really? That's not crypto investing, guys. So we've got all these tools to help you get up to speed. All these Caspa leverage trades, the technical analysis that goes with it. We got the AI ones. We pulled all the moon ones aside. The macroeconomics. And these are really juicy because we've got some secret stuff in there that I can't show you yet. But later in 90 days, we're going to be like,
I pity the fool
who wasn't in VIP, because we knew that was going to happen the whole time. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? In VIP. Now I want you to take that and combine it with this sideways and downward motion on the total 3. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, they already factored this in. So we're going to be looking for discounts probably, not a second leg. And this, I've been chatting with AI for like endless days about this, going in every possible scenario for multiple different cryptos. I think that part of the reason that we were so bearish for the last FOMC was because obviously we were a more Caspa bias, but I've corrected that to give a much better plethora with the AI. So we've got these pattern directories, okay? Like the cup and handle, for example. This is a cup and handle on Caspa. This is one on Rune, and these are all the ones that we've traded on video. Anything that we've happened where we put money down on it, with Rune, we got this one at like $1.50, went up to like $7. You can't even see how high this breakout went. And then Moonwell, we actually posted, yo, it's a cup and handle, give it. Like, it's just like Caspa. So we've got all of these, and the secret to these is we actually combine them with that X-Files repeating trendline stuff. Right? These trend lines that just keep repeating. It's the same exact trend line every time since the beginning. You just clone it. You see what I'm saying? And it's on every chart. It's not just Caspa. It's on all of them. It's bonkers that nobody's published this before. So we got the pattern directory, new listings. If you're outside the USA, this GameFi new listing is a super gem. It's the next Heroes of Mavia. Then this is where we do like the render type of the AVAX, the ones that are higher listed. This is the watch list. So anything that's on our radar, we originally put up, I think 12 to 18. Some of them were micro cap, but excluding the micro cap, I think we had 8 picks. Out of those 8 picks, 6 of them landed it in the top 100 after that FOMC for the past 30 days. Like, so these watch lists are good. And we added like a stray crypto in there, but we'll be doing more watch list updates. Just a collection of all trading plans. Now, these are the videos to do those repeating trend lines, videos to do those classic patterns. And now here's the fundamentals, because technical analysis is worthless without your 24-point checklist. Then I've gone and done 7 reports for you. One of them I thought was bullish until I actually used this tool. And then I found out the teams were even fooling me, because obviously you're pre-vetting, right? So you're making a list of everything pretty good, and then you're making more details, and then you got the list of ones that are good, and then you're finally breaking out the 24-point checklist. And I had already written most of the report, and then I discovered this crypto actually sucks. So we actually wrote about how it sucked in the report, and that one was called Blender. Which is, yeah, been sucking. And we wrote the report like here. So this one sucks. But they almost fooled us because they did a really good job hiding it. But you cannot hide from this system. I am an average trader. Do I have a lot of experience from day trading stocks? Yes. The tools that I have that allow me to destroy the market in an exceptional way are managed learning systems and standard operating procedures. And so in the printout section, because you get these things that you can keep, you also get 84 questions that you can cut, copy, paste to ask AI. And this is like a partner tool to the 24-point checklist. They're basically the same thing. One of the content creators, I'm not going to say his name, 45 days after I released the 24-point checklist, and I advertised it for a month and a half. I said, VIP is going to open up right after this FOMC meeting. Get ready for VIP. Right here is when we opened VIP. Right here is when we did the 10x leverage trade on Caspa. Right on the main channel. You can watch this video. It's about Caspa smart contracts, November 2nd. So we got this, and now everybody in the Caspa community, they're like, dude, you ought to have a VIP. You got some mustard here. Plus, we did that Rune one as well. So we're like, okay, we'll open a VIP. We advertise it this whole time, and then we open it here, and then right around here, now this new creator who's got a bigger channel than me, he's got a 25-point checklist. And I'm like, dude, if he really understood the system, he would have created 84 questions. You know what I mean? And disguise the fact that he's blatantly plagiarizing me like he's blatantly plagiarizing with all of his call outs. Interestingly enough, this guy also got Moonwell, but it is more of his brand and method of picking. He's very honed in on Coinbase. So I do believe he found Moonwell on his own, but we definitely got the lower price. And we were definitely looking at it way before he was. That's for sure. So what's up, Trish? Welcome to the chat. We were just talking about how because the investment bankers are all already buying the news that the 25 basis points was coming out this November FOMC, plus you got the elections, plus Trish, you're in VIP, you know that new post that we have inside Macroeconomics about the who'sy whatsy, that's going to be a massive issue in 60 days, right? Factoring in all that put together, instead of a second leg up instantly, like we were theorizing before, rate cuts historically are always sideways and downward. So we're going to be hypothesizing inside VIP discounts, where to go for discounts. And some projects can continue to have a leg up because they're just too bullish and the table's just too set for them right now. So a mixed bag. A lot of projects are really on the downside right now, especially in the top 100. Waiting until after the FOMC is the way to go. You're just going to get so much more data. You're going to get so much more information. That's what we do inside VIP. That's how we've been trading, and it's good. Yeah, there's some times to do early bird specials if you have really high conviction, or there's some other type of factor, but waiting until the FOMC is standard practice. In a world that's just crypto, that's so chaotic and bizarre, these FOMC meetings are like the earnings reports. They're bringing structure into the crypto sphere. Not just for retail, for that whole poker table that we're sitting at. investment banking, and so on. So it's a great time to be getting ready to go for the gems. Meme coins are fun, and you can catch one to absolutely rock it. In my opinion, going for ones that you absolutely think are going to rock it, like Sigma, this could have been located because it's one of these high Google search words. Young men love to research Sigma male. Therefore, this is going to rock it. This could have been located. Having much more focused and recreational, because these are lottery ticket picks. Don't try to become a meme coin millionaire. Stick to gem hunting. All of these content creators that are focused on meme coins is because they know, oh, this is where all the guys who don't understand crypto are going to go. They're looking for confirmation bias. And we've just proven through showing gem hunting much more difficult, much more time consuming. This isn't for the lazy guy, but we will get better gains as we did over the past 90 days, 30 days, over the next 90 days, and of course, into the bull market. So keep that in mind. Good luck on your gem hunts. We'll see you inside VIP, super friendly price, and get ready for this FOMC meeting because it's going to be super fun. Thanks for checking out this video, guys. We'll catch you on the next one.